Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to the Diascast Gaming presents the Watch City. Really glad to have you here today, and glad to be able to have our last member of the party join us, Andy Norris. Yay, good to have you.
Hey, happy to be here.
Yeah, all right. Well, we've got some people kind of spread out. I know Chad's doing a little bit of jet setting, going to some conventions and such, and was gracious to lend us his, though not quite fully mustached, mustached in our hearts, Alexi Becketson. Good to see you.
Happy to be here at 4:30 a.m.
You know, the things that we do for D&D, it's pretty great. Okay, so we are now on to our second episode of the Diascast Gaming presents The Watch City. And we're back. When we last left off, the newly arrived heroes of Yalish, Alexi and Castell, have barely enough time to gain their bearings before accepting a job of great importance from a high-ranking member of the Watch, Shieldsar Grey Deveau. Mally, under the heel of Deveau for a murder that she did not commit, has also accepted the job to clear her name. Now, unfolding at the unfurled map in the mid-city of Yalish, the Watch City, a new member of this simple job is introduced. So, as you're all in the unfurled map, after Shieldsar Grey Deveau has sort of explained the high-level overview of this quest, this job, this very simple job that he needs people outside of the Watch to undertake. He had directed your attention to a halfling sort of sitting very out of place. Andy, would you please describe your character?
I'm just sitting here. I'm like 4'11", like yay high, and I've got this red hair that just kind of goes boom, and I'm just gonna sit here and look at all of these shiny things.
No, not in his watch uniform, just sort of like a simple tunic, like a little linen tunic with some jumpers on and a little sash around his waist. Gray just sort of looks up, kind of that long, very Ron Perlman-y face. He looks up and catches the attention of Pelly and says, "Why don't you come on over here and introduce yourself?" Kind of like cuts through the crowd in this deep booming voice.
Okay. Hi. I'm Pelly. I just got here. I was told that there might be some really cool stuff going on. So I'm looking for an adventure.
Deveau kind of like gives you a little bit of a look and then sort of quickly glances over at the barmaid who has been sending folks over to Deveau in the past, and she just kind of like looks down. Very like strong looking human woman, like long blonde hair. He goes, "All right, so I guess she told you to come over here because you look like you could handle yourself, some sort of wayfinder adventurer."
Oh yeah, I can definitely handle myself. I'm very capable of the handling of the self.
Go ahead and roll a deception or persuasion check. Don't tell me which. Just let me know what the result is, depending if you're truthful or lying.
8.
Just kind of looks at you and, I've been wrong before, and kind of like looks back over at Mally and go ahead and join this group. The dwarf is kind of sitting his beard down on the table, Ron Roan, and he's just sort of like using it as a pillow, just sort of already kind of like snoring into it. As the rest of you are sitting around at this table, Gray DeVoe says, "I'm gonna get you all some drinks on me tonight."
If that's the case, make it 2.
All right, so drink. He looks over at Castell and Alexi. All right.
Drinks indeed.
How about a juice? Kind of like looks over at Castell.
You're muted.
It's a little loud in here. I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
I mean, you can drink whatever you want. If you want a juice, weirdo, you don't need to ask us.
All right. I'll leave you all to it. He kind of steps away and heads over to the bar, and the dwarf just sort of laying on his beard, sleeping, snoring. All kind of awkward silence looking at you all. Just
Well, we'll break the ice, as they say. Sir Lexi Beckerton, my sword is at your service. I, too, am looking for an adventure here in Yalish.
Hi.
Tough crowd.
It's nice to meet you.
Well, I'm not looking for an adventure, but they always seem to find me, so I guess I'm here as well. And Mally just glares over at Rose, and it's just like, just keep the ales coming.
You mean DeVroe?
I'm
don't
sorry,
think
DeVroe.
Rose is not here.
Rose is not here. Yeah.
Kind of a few moments go by, just some awkward silence, and Gray brings back a few tankards, sort of sets them down on the table, like, "You're all a very chatty bunch. So why don't I go ahead and re-explain for everyone?" He kind of like sees Ron is just sleeping. So, as I said before, there's a shipment of contraband coming in from one of the local crime lord here in Yalish, goes by the name of Rust, and it'll be coming through the shipworks. Now, I'm more concerned though at this point because we can catch Rust. I'm concerned about a traitor within the watch. I've narrowed it down to 2 of my, unfortunately, first blades. In the section of Yalish which I oversee 7 blades, first blades. And if I suspect 2 of them, I see I can't move against them without definitive proof. So I need all of you, people who have no affiliation with the watch, to observe any traitorous dealings. Now, something I want all of you to know, you will be, compensated handsomely, but I want you all to understand that this is something of great importance to me personally, because I can't have anything coming back to me. So as far as you all are concerned, I don't want you saying I'm working for the watch. I don't want you saying that you're doing all this, grand things. We need to keep it hush hush. Do you understand?
So who are the 2 that you think are your traitors? And how did you come to that decision?
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Ooh. Well, with disadvantage, that is a 1. I would tell you what my pluses are, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, always tell me. Always tell me.
Okay, well, that would be a +3 to persuasion, but that was a natural 1 with disadvantage.
He takes a drink and maintains eye contact with you and just says, Melly, I don't think we're at the point in our relationship to where I would divulge something so incredibly bad that could, if it came back to me.
So how are we supposed to find? You already know who 2 of them are.
Do you mind keeping your cackle down a bit?
Mally's just got like her pint glass swaying a little bit, and she's like, "You already know who they might be. Why don't you just talk to us so you don't waste our time looking at 7 when there's only 2?"
Well, they're gonna show themselves, and you'll describe to me. Well, actually, no. I expect you to put a stop to them, to apprehend them, and then I'll come in. I'll be right behind you. So you don't really need to know who I think it is.
And Mally just slams her pint glass down. Another round. He's buying.
They know I'm buying. I'll go get it. Jeez. What about subtlety and anyways, what about you, Beckettson? Is it pretty clear? It
questions
seems as
here,
though it's
sir.
not. All right. What about you,
I look to
Halfling?
bring honor and glory to Timora. Our first good deed.
Great. All right. Well, that's it. There are no other questions. I'll drop some coin with the bartender and make sure that she keeps bringing drinks for you. Till then, I would like all of you to meet at the shipworks entrance on the lower city side. Mally, you know where it is. And the rest of you meet there tomorrow night at 10 bells. Got the night to rest up, drink, sleep off whatever you drink tonight, do whatever sort of procurements that you need to do tomorrow, and then we'll meet you then at 10 bells. Got it?
Aye, aye, Captain.
It sounds like you would need to give us a small advance for our services for procurement of any items we might need in
I like the way you think.
service.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
This is a smart one right here.
Are you rolling digitally or physically?
I just can't get to my computer's a little funny since it got run over.
Yes. That's right.
What was there?
Do you want someone to roll it for you for right now? Do you
No,
trust
no,
anyone enough?
I've rolled it. I just don't know what my what was it again? Persuasion?
Persuasion, that's correct. You have a plus
so
3 to it.
15.
15. Okay. So DeBro just smiled a bit and says, I like you. You're a good mind for business, and I respect that. So yeah. I can give you a small advance. And he reaches into his coin purse and he pulls out, looks like a handful of gold coins, and he passes out a few to each of you. Looks like in total he passes out 10 gold to every one of you, including the dwarf. And he kind of sees the tankard and just drops it in the cup.
10 gold each? Am I understanding this correctly?
Correct.
I also definitely make a play for the shiniest ones.
Okay.
And I am also making a play for the shiniest ones.
Ooh.
You both reach, and then your hands are sort of like both grasp one at the same time. He's kind of like look at each other. Do either of you yield or relent, or
No.
Go ahead and I'd like to do a contested strength check. So if you both can go ahead and roll a strength for me, athletics.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Let me know what you got here in a moment. All right. So, Estelle, what'd you get?
I got a 16.
I got
Kelly?
18.
So it's less about like just like you are so much taller and just have that sort of advantage of just like leverage over Pelly. And as she's kind of like squinting her eyes and she's pulling back, kind of pulling forward, Pelly just very, very slightly moves like her middle finger, just very dexterously, and just stabs you in the top of the finger. Just kind of, it's like a little bit of just a prick on the finger, and she gets her very, very shiny gold coin.
I wish to wild shape into a scorpion.
Okay.
I did not see that coming.
So is this a scorpion that is a giant scorpion, or is it a small scorpion?
Like a regular size scorpion.
Okay, great.
Like, you know, a fist could be a regular size.
So, and what does it look like when you? I think we saw it before with your squirrel, but like when you wild shape, what kind of colors come out? Do you do anything like? Is it like a big show of it? What does that look like?
No, there's just like a little like glimmer of like first I'm there, and then you see like a little glimmer of like sparkly smoke, and then there's a scorpion, a very mad scorpion that is very stabby and is trying to stab Ellie in her
Okay.
foot.
We're gonna go ahead and just do this without a battle map. But as you, Pelly, as you grab this coin, you're kind of like just cherishing this, and then immediately you see Castell from a seating position just sort of turns into a scorpion. You're just sort of, or pardon me, just a poof of smoke just kind of like comes through, and then she's gone. And you kind of just look around a little bit. Everyone's just sort of like a little surprised, but you hear a scuttling.
Right in the shoe. Stab right in the shoe.
And go ahead and make an attack roll with your scorpion. It's going to be a sting. You got to, let's see, you have a +2 to hit for the
Okay.
scorpion.
Does a 15 hit?
Pelly?
Yes, the 15 hits.
So at your foot, not wearing boots, you've just got this just pierce, just cuts into your like your ankle. Pelly, you take 1 point of piercing damage. God, is weird. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
17.
17. Okay, so you begin to feel like this like noxious sort of like this noxious sort of like liquid, this almost like this viscous liquid seeping into your skin, and you just sort of like bracing yourself for it, but then like your feet are hairy and like tough, and it couldn't quite break through the calluses that you've got just all over your feet. You are not poisoned.
I got my shiny thing.
So as you've kind of got this going on, the barmaid sort of brings out a couple of new tankards, and she kind of like looks down and goes, "Oh no!" And she grabs one of the tankards and just kind of puts them down. She sees a scorpion on the ground, and she goes, "Friends, I would find a new table, please."
I go to run under the table and wild shape into a squirrel.
Okay. So as you kind of like shift and move under the table and you switch into a squirrel, she kind of like looks down and then sees you just sort of like chittering right there, and she just goes,
I give her like the biggest puppy dog eyes.
I'm working a little too late tonight. I enjoy your drinks. And like sits up a little bit and smiles and closes the curtain again and walks away.
Well, that was fun.
The dwarf sort of like wakes up and goes, what are we doing? Bleh.
We're drinking.
Drinking. And Mally grabs another pint and slides it over to the dwarf.
Oh, yeah, I like doing this. And there's some, reaches into this other cup. I don't remember ordering that.
It's okay. He's paying. Well,
Ooh.
I guess she points to the door. Well, he's still paying even though he's not here.
The door is paying. Got it.
Yes. You're a quick one, Master Dwarf.
Do you work for me? I'm not your master.
My apologies. Was just trying to be polite to ya. What do you prefer to
You're
be called?
talking a whole lot, and I can't drink while you're talking. Bingo. So, kind of as the evening is sort of like going on, looking about the room, I'd like all of you to make perception checks for me, please.
Solid 2.
Solid 2, fantastic.
21.
21.
Made up
8.
for that nat 1. Thank you.
12. Okay. So I would say Alexi. Taking a couple moments here and there to sort of like stand up, stretch your legs a little bit, maybe going on up to get another drink. You actually see what looks to be a human male kind of sitting down with a few different people. It looks like they've got like a bit of a test of strength sort of going on. The human man looks like, mid-30s, kind of thin, but definitely looks like he's lifted some milk crates in his time. And he's just sort of sitting there with like a decently sized amount of coins on the table, and he goes, "Hey, you want to try your luck? I haven't been beat so far, and you actually look like you could be some competition."
My friend, what you don't know about me is that I live to try my luck.
Oh,
What is the competition?
Oh, it's just a simple test of strength between two individuals such as ourselves. Kind of puts his hand down on the table and kind of extends it out to you in like a bit of an angle. So if you're not scared.
Scared. Not with Timora on my side. And you see him
Oh,
extend
well,
his hand.
I don't think the lady's going to be able to help you out with this. So,
Surely hope not.
but first, before we do this, you got any coin you want to throw in? I mean, I'm not going to do this for free. So,
Well, let's throw down a single gold piece. Maybe we'll go best of 3.
All right. He kind of throws down a gold piece, reaches his hand out. So as you sort of grasp his hand, I'd like you to go ahead and also make a contested strength check. So I'll roll and you roll, and we'll see what happens.
Eight. Oh, sorry, 11.
11. 13. So as you are both sort of like in this position, kind of like just sort of dead, like eye looks you sort of like dead in the eyes, and he is surprisingly strong. And you're both kind of like holding onto the sides of the table. some of the people sort of around are sort of kind of like beginning to notice this, and he gets you about 2/3 of the way down. Let's go ahead and do another contested strength check, but this time for you with disadvantage.
$16.
Natural 20. He slams your hand to the ground, kind of flexes a little bit. You gotta have me wondering there if I was gonna have to try a little harder. And has a big smile. He's a bit of an ass, but you kind of get the sense about him that he's a good guy and he's just enjoying this thing that he's good at. So he takes one of your gold pieces or your gold coin that you put down and says, all right, look, I'm gonna give you a chance to earn it back. How about we do double or nothing?
Double or nothing. I'm in.
All right, so one more time, let's do the same thing.
$19.
19. Total. I also rolled a 19, so 21. This is a pretty evenly matched one, and you kind of bring him down a little bit. Then he sort of meets you and goes a little bit further, not quite like 2/3 of the way. I would say about half. I'm gonna say go ahead and roll it again, not with disadvantage though. Pretty evenly matched.
Lexi can feel his strength start to fade a little bit with an 8.
I swear, I'm sorry. Natural 20 again. It's the Malachite dice for anyone that knows me. It's the Malachite. So, yes, you kind of see this moment of respect. He just kind of like sees the amount of power that you have and that you haven't invoked your deity, that you haven't done anything sly. He just kind of like just looks at you as another, like just like on the level. And he sort of just takes a moment, breathes, and then with an incredible amount of strength, slams your hand down onto the ground and or onto the side of the table and reaches out his other hand and says, "It was a pleasure."
Not good, sir. You're stronger than you look. I'm going to blame the beers.
I've had a few myself, but I'm not going to take that away from you. What's your name?
Sir Alexei Beckettson, at your service. These are my friends. We're going on an adventure.
That's the right place to do it. I'm Tyrion Dory. Pleasure. He's got like these bit of like somewhat dark features. Definitely looks as though he's a regular here. And as he just sort of like accepts your 2 gold, he shakes your hand with the other, and not like a screw you sort of handshake, but just like a nice firm handshake. And as he kind of like does that and says, you know, if you ever are looking for any sort of additional work, there's a lot of longshoreman work that could be done down at the docks, and I could put in a good word for you if you like. This adventuring business doesn't quite work out for you.
So that's how you got so strong and mighty. Well, I'm hoping the adventure business works out very well for me.
Good luck.
I thank you.
Mallet. So kind of while this is going on, you actually see from kind of like a few tables away from you, as the curtain is blowing in and out every now and then, you see a tall, like blue with like sort of light brown haired furbolg, and he's just sort of like speaking in a very animated way. You just kind of like you don't see honestly many furbolgs here, so you kind of just take a moment and grab your drink and kind of wander on over there and kind of see what he's talking about. And
Is he
Can I
with a group at a table? Is he at the bar? Where?
He's at the bar, and it's sort of like no, pardon me. He is at a table. Excuse me. It's like a little bit of an elevation though. They have like different sized tables, and so he's especially just sort of like towering over this. But he's talking to a couple different folks, sort of like around him, some of the locals and some of the regulars. But he goes, "Oh, as you get closer, I was doing some masonry work on the wall north outside the gate, and when I heard the watch talking about how they found some wayfinders dead in a nearby surface tunnel. The bodies, oh, I don't even want to begin to describe what they would look like. It was horrible." And he kind of like walks up and sees you. "Oh, ma'am."
Oh, I was hearing you talking about the Wayfinders. You know, you seem to know a lot of the locals here, but I've never seen you before.
"Oh, well, I come in a lot. I'm Baldrin. Pleased to meet your acquaintance.
Lovely to meet you. I'm Mally.
Good to meet you. I'm one of the masons here in the city. I don't have my own shop yet, but I work out of a couple of the blacksmiths and such. But yeah, what do you do?"
Well, I work with Xander on his transportation. You know, I run some of the ships that come in and out of here, and well, I'm sure I've seen your work. I just didn't know it was you.
Oh, that's really nice of you to say, actually.
Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah. Okay.
And Mally looks at the bartender and she's like, "A drink for my new friend," and put it on you know whose tab.
I'd like you to make an insight check.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's a natural 20.
Yay.
Plus one, so 21.
He seems to be incredibly smitten with you. Like, immediately is just sort of like looking at you and kind of blushing. He's blue, so it really could really tell also. And he's just kind of goofy, sort of like sits back down, kind of slips out of his chair a little bit. Oh, they don't make them like they used to. I mean, I wouldn't make them. I'm a mason, not a carpenter.
Oh, you're funny.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what's this I hear about dead wayfinders?
Oh,
You know,
goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
I wouldn't want to tell someone so as beautiful.
Oh no, trust me, I've seen my fair share of dead bodies. In fact, I'm accused of killing one of them, but I promise I didn't do it. I only kill those who deserve it, and then I own up to it.
I would like you to roll a persuasion check with disadvantage, please.
Oh, wow.
Man, I want to see you on like a first date.
It was
Like,
a nat 20 and a 2. So with my modifier, that is 5.
you know, I can't look. The sun's down, I guess, and we got a lot of building to do tomorrow and for the rest of the week. So I'm not going to be back here for a while. It's okay. You don't need that drink. Have a good day, Mallory, and walks off as fast as he can.
Okay. And I will say Mally is not used to that type of response when she's talking to people. You know, she makes a point of trying to befriend most people, even if it's not in, you know, even if it's a little disingenuous. So she's kind of a little surprised by this response.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Kelly, kind of just like kicking feet a little bit. You just need to get up and move around, kind of like look at some of the wood in here is actually really like familiar. You've seen some of the cuts before. You're not sure if it's like shadow top or whatnot, but just looking about. And then you actually kind of run into this table, and looks to be like a halfling male sitting there by himself, and like, "Oh, hi. Fancy running into you here." That was a joke.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm here, you're here, and then we just ran into each other.
Oh, we just ran. I ran into.
Absolutely fancy running into you.
Yeah, no, I don't see a lot of other halflings around.
No,
No.
it feels like everybody's very tall.
Everyone's very tall. It's really difficult. I don't know if you've tried to go to the bathroom or anything like that. But
The trick is you just go down further, so then you look down below their knees and you can see where everything is.
Well, that's a good idea. Well, I mean,
right?
like, and all the time I've been here, I mostly just trying to look up, make myself look a little more scary or bigger.
Oh yeah, you look very scared. I'm very scared. Good job.
Oh, dude, you're just saying that. I really appreciate it.
What are you
Yep.
doing here?
I've been trying to get over to like, I don't know. I had a job working on the docks actually.
Oh,
And I don't have that job anymore, sadly. But I kind of went out trying to find some other work, and it just didn't really work out.
yeah. So you don't have anything. You don't have any work.
No, there's not a whole lot I can do. But I mean, I saw this notice looking for strong individuals, and so I naturally went out.
And no, it didn't.
No, I showed up to this warehouse, like mid city, and there was a big dummy human guy and big face or whatever, and he turned me away and said I wasn't gonna be enough. No, so that's what I did. I turned away, but then I got to look and see inside of what they were doing, and
What were they doing?
I don't even.
No, you get to tell me. Come on, you get to tell me.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
$19.
All right. Okay, so
Okay.
all right. Kind of like scoots his chair in to the table while you're standing there. Are you from here?
No.
All right, cool. All right, I'll tell you this. So we've got here Yalish here, and then when you go up and you go outside, there's a big forest. I don't know if you saw it on the boat or if you came in through. Oh, anyway, there's a forest there. That's it. Fact. All right. So it's illegal to do a lot of clear cutting and lumbering in certain areas outside, just because the old shadow, the Jundar wood. It's it's dangerous, and but what I saw was they had a lot of like lumbering equipment, carpentry equipment, and they had. I got a little closer. I couldn't help it. I was just really curious. Like, why couldn't I do this? Why not? Yeah, why not? That's exactly what I said.
That's unfair.
So, I went inside and did a little snooping around, and they've got a few different places like marked off on a map, and they're going to be lumbering. They're going to be cutting down stuff in the trees in the Junderwood. And I got out of there. I didn't want to be part of anything illegal.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I should go to the watch or one of the counselors or what.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. I don't even know your name. I'm sorry. You said Pelly earlier, right?
Yeah, my name is Pelly. What's your name?
I'm sorry. I almost forgot. Oh, geez. Bello Silver Bottle.
Bello Silver Bottle.
Yeah.
I like that name. That's got a good ring to it.
Thank you. It's pretty shiny. I got to work on that one. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
Seem right. It feels like we should do something about that.
I mean, I can't really do much. I'm not like a fighter. I'm just more of like a builder, lifter, supervisor.
Well, maybe I can't. Maybe I don't know anybody here yet, really. But now that
know me.
I know you.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you, fellas.
That's good. I'm glad we ran into each other.
Me too.
Yeah, all right.
This is great. This is wonderful. I'm going to see if there's anybody who knows anything else. I won't say anything about you.
Oh, I appreciate the discretion.
Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, it's good to meet you, Pelly.
Good to meet you too.
And lastly, Castell, as you're just sort of like sitting down, you kind of here off to the side, these two humans are having a really, really in-depth fight. Kind of just hearing about how one guy was saying, I can't believe that a gnome was elected to one of the council seats. It's amazing. What a time to be alive. And then someone, the lady sort of across from him just says, you're really drunk right now. And I think you should probably have one more, and that's really about it.
Does
And
Mally hear this?
just right now, everyone's kind of like doing their own thing. So it's just Castell right now.
Okay, cool.
Kind of like hear this, and then Fleck kind of like sits on your shoulder and just goes and says, "Is he not like small people?"
I just look at him as a squirrel and I just shrug. I'm like, mm-hmm.
Oh, you're still a squirrel. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, he's kind of like sitting there off to your side. Kind of like throughout the night, you get a little bit of like additional context for their conversation. Just a lot of like of the recent sort of like elections and sort of political. It's just a lot of blah blah blah. You don't give a like really two shits about what they're saying exactly, but they just seem to be really animated and like upset about it or happy about it. They're just kind of all over the place. So I'll say kind of with that as the time, the beginning, the evening begins to wind down to a close. Is there anything else that you all want to do before calling it a night?
Is
Where were we headed? We were headed down to the docks. Did I recall that correctly from Devereaux?
Are you asking your fellow compatriots at the table, or are you asking the DM?
Yes. My companions on this adventure. See, Sir
You're
Alexis,
muted there, Mally.
scratching his head.
Sorry, we're headed to the docks tomorrow when the clock strikes 10 in the evening. So we've still got a little bit of time.
Yes. I'm thinking, what would we need to bring to such a place? Something about cliffside tunnels, maybe some climbing gear. And you see Alexi kind of like his eyes light up as he comes up with a task for Brahm to fetch him some climbing gear or take a little shopping trip.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, when you return back, you can give him his to-do list.
What time is it?
Oh, I would say it's getting close to like midnight.
Oh, okay.
Is there any gambling going on?
Oh yeah, there's like some folks like rolling some dice. Looks like 3 Dragon Antes being played. There's a little bit going on.
I wish to attempt to play dice.
Okay, I'll just say that kind of for simplicity, go ahead and grab a d6.
I'll lug my little pouch over there, and then I'll like fish around in it, and I'll bring out 1 gold coin to show the guy I'm serious, and I'll bite it so he knows.
Red tiefling goes, all right, yeah, go ahead and take a seat. I assume you're not a squirrel because that would be
I'm
comedy.
100% a squirrel.
Oh, you're a squirrel.
Never stop being a squirrel.
Copy that. So I'd like you to
But I
just go
had
ahead.
to drag the pouch over. It's big. Like I went to go in there and look. And I was like, see, real.
The this tiefling kind of like looks down at you and, hey, someone let a rodent in here.
I
Well,
more aggressively gesture with my coin into the dice, and I at this point I look a little miffed. I'm just like,
it looks like this half orc walks up and says, excuse me, I can believe I can help you here. He turns to you and you kind of see this sort of he's kind of muttering something, and you see his hands sort of get covered with like this seaweed. And as he sort of like closes his fist, this like pop, this audible pop is heard. And he speaks to you in Squirrel. Would you like to be betting, young friend? As I could act as your intermediary.
Yes, please.
Very good. What should I call you?
Squirrel is fine.
Excuse me, I represent Squirrel is fine. And they wish to bet against you, sir. If you do not mind, this coin here, that's rather large because the squirrel is not very small, is going to suffice as their bet. Now, we shall take the single die and give it to the squirrel, and I shall ensure that both parties are on the up and up. So, Mylan,
Yes.
you wonderful person for making me do this. Go ahead and please roll a d6.
What's a 4?
How many d6s do you have on you right now?
I think I have 3.
Go ahead and roll all 3 for me.
Okay, so 4, 2, and 5.
So 11 total. All right. So it actually looks like they, over the course of like 5 rolls, you're trying to like get to 20. And as you just sort of like the squirrel just grabs the die and just sort of chucks it. The game goes on. You're neck and neck. You're both at 11, and this tiefling's just kind of sweating, just looking at the table, looking in out of the die. I'd like you to go ahead and roll them again.
I would like to double my bet at this point, if I can.
Okay. The squirrel is fine. Would like to increase their bet to any chitters back to you. How much?
Ermeg, pull out another gold coin and set it.
2 gold coins. The tiefling just goes, all right. Kind of puts one in. So I would like you to roll 3, and then after that, we're gonna go ahead and roll one more.
5, 4, and 3.
So 12 altogether. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the last die, or the last time it's your turn to roll, you end up with 22 altogether, and the tiefling just would have hit 20, but you already beat him to 20. So he kind of just looks down and gets upset and kind of reaches in and puts 2 gold down the table. So you now have 2 additional gold on top of what you already had.
Yes.
Kind of with that, the half orc just sort of like cheers, and you've had this like crowd sort of surrounding you, and they're just like watching with anticipation as the squirrel is rolling this die. And
I go all in.
Oh, you won. That was it. You won.
Oh, I was like, I didn't know if we had another betting round. I was like, all of it. I bet all of it.
That's no, you did it. So after that, the tiefling just sort of like upset that he lost, but also upset that he lost to a squirrel, and just sort of stands up and is laughed out of the unfurled map. And as the roar of the crowd of 6 people around your table just sort of like crescendos, people are buying drinks. They put a drink down in front of you, and then this kind of realize, oh wait, you're a squirrel, and it kind of picks up the drink back up again and starts drinking it. The evening comes to a close.
I do like a lot of finger guns at people. I'm like,
all right. So with that unexpected turn of events, we move on to, well, going back to your guys' respective inns and
how much gold did I just win? Just curious.
4 gold. Go ahead and take a long rest.
Before I go to sleep, I want to hire someone. I'm gonna tip the guy that translated for me. I'm gonna give him 1 gold, and then I'm also going to ask the bartender for some change and some stationery, like pay them. I feel like an inn would have stationery of some sort, and
Could find some, sure.
and then send the money to the temple that I took the bell from.
Got it. Okay. So you kind of
Like just 1 gold. I mean, I don't think it would be more than 1 gold.
sure. So you basically gave away all your winnings. 1 gold to the half orc and 1 gold back to Timor, the Church of Timor.
No, if I won 4 gold, I only gave away half my winnings.
All right, you bet 2, but then you won 2
I thought I won 4.
altogether. But yeah,
Oh, I see. The pot was 4 gold altogether.
Right.
Got it. That's okay.
so we'll take care of all that. Get that all ready. Let's go ahead and as the evening ends, go ahead and take a long rest. Let's go ahead and take our 10-minute break. So we're 12-minute break. Excuse me. Gonna go ahead and see you back here in about 12 minutes for Squirrel Gambling. No, for episode 2 of The Watched City.
Guy.
Welcome back. I think there was a math error on my part, so I'm gonna own up to it, and I'm gonna make sure that the squirrel gets 4 gold. So congratulations, Squirrel Mylan. You are now the proud owner of 4 gold.
2 technically, since I tipped and I paid for my bell.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Welcome back. Glad everyone's here.
12 altogether.
So well done. I'm glad we got that figured out. So now that we're back, we're gonna be jumping into the next day. It's actually gonna be the 11th of Kythorn, if you would like to keep track of the date here in the year 1489 DR. So now you've all sort of woken up at your respective inns, which I don't know if we know where Pelly is staying. Pelly, where are you staying?
I don't know yet. Where am I staying? I was gonna stay maybe at the ships to sail inn is the only inn that I know. So if you've got any better suggestions, I'm open to them. Otherwise, I'll just go back there.
No, that's great. Yeah, I believe that you had already checked in prior to coming over
Oh,
to the
phew.
Unfurled map.
I thought maybe I just made that up in my head, but I'm so glad that we confirmed that. Thank you.
That's right. Yes. So you wake up at the ship of sail. We've got Alexi and we've got Castell staying at, was it Antravel's roof? Is that correct?
Believe
And
it
then-
is.
Mally, where does Mally stay? Because I know that you live here in Yala.
I live here, so I am staying in a little flat that I have procured that is wherever the DM decides that it is.
Fair enough.
No, Mally definitely has her own place because she definitely spends a lot of time here. So yeah.
Great. So you're just in your own place.
Yeah.
Excellent. So as we get up for the next day, 11th of Kythorn, it's definitely a bit more of like a misty day today. So you've got a decent amount of rainfall coming down. It's an okay day to kind of go out and grab some items, go for like a little shopping trip or whatever. I don't think we need to go through all of that. So is there anything that you all want to make sure that you procure prior to going to the shipworks tonight? And I do know that we're going to have Brahm pick up those climbing packs. Awesome.
Yes.
I would definitely like to search out some of my friends,
Okay.
quote unquote, to see if anyone has heard anything about this rogue watchman, or even now that I have learned of wayfinders who were found dead at a nearby surface tunnel. So I would like to use my contacts within the city because they tend to know things that law enforcement does not.
Okay. I'd like you to go ahead and give me a mixture. I'd like you to go ahead and give me a persuasion check, a deception check, and an intimidation check.
Okay, persuasion is going to be, hold on, 15. You said deception is going to be 10, and intimidation is 16.
Okay. So I would say that you're over the course of the day, I'll say that you're going to be kind of doing this. You're welcome to make a couple of quick stops for shopping and whatnot, but this is going to be the most of your day is to sort of trying to get information. I'd like you to go ahead and remove 7 gold, please.
Okay. Bribing?
A mixture of bribes, what you owe people that you are now asking a favor to, and also maybe trying to get into certain areas that you wouldn't normally have access to.
Yep.
So kind of with that, the level of information that you get is kind of mixed as far as the wayfinders go, because you're asking for 2 separate things. So you're trying to like put them together as best as you can.
I think there might be a connection. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, are you sort of like sowing a rumor, as it were, that this may have been a rogue watchman, or are you sort of inquiring what's going on with the watch? You know, I heard that some wayfinders finders were found dead, but then also I heard that there's,
yeah,
maybe someone
so
on the
I'm
yeah.
approaching it to the people that I know as I'm trying to clear my name. So I have been wrongfully accused of murdering this watchman.
Okay.
And so I have heard rumors that there is a rogue watchman, and perhaps they are responsible for this death and perhaps the death of the Wayfinders, because I, Mally, would never kill law enforcement. I bribe them. I don't kill them.
Okay. So
Bad for business.
just to make sure, and we've already done it. So you are talking about the murder and all of these things to various people.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Because I imagine this knowledge has already filtered out through the underground folk.
You can imagine it, but it may not be true.
Imagine it. I could be wrong.
Okay. So as you spend a lot of your time sort of doing that, anything else that you wanted to like pick up and grab?
Let's see what my...
While you figure that out, we'll go to Alexi and Castell, kind of giving Brom the shopping list, and a bit begrudgingly, he accepts. He met you very early in the morning at your place, your Aunt Trevel's roof, leaving his very nice inn to do so. Trying to show up for work, trying to show up, ready to go. So what other items are you going to ask Brom to procure for you besides the climbing kits? And also, how much gold do you give him?
Nothing. And he will just come and see me casually twirling a bell around my finger.
I'm going to also ask Brom to fetch me a crowbar, as Alexi is eager to flex his muscles again, should the need arise.
Okay.
And as a little side thing, I'd like to, at some point during the day, Alexi would like to either seek out a member of the watch or go back to Devro himself and talk to him, just to try to understand a little bit more about this organization. Are they the local military force? Are they associated with, the nobles or the rulers? Just for my own edification, Alexi comes from military bearing, so he likes to understand the rank and file of things, just for his understanding. So he knows when he's talking to an underling, when he knows when he's talking to more of a captain type of character.
I'll tell you what, getting an audience with Gray might be difficult, but I will say, as you're walking out in the watch city, you do sort of like flag down a couple of the watch, and I'd like you to go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage, please.
I roll of 19.
Ooh, very good. Okay, so kind of speaking with these watchmen, you kind of see that they're armed, look to be like have maces on them, some belt knives, and these like poles with like bucklers welded onto the ends of them. As you kind of like go up and just sort of chat a bit, kind of use some very familiar sort of like lingo and whatnot, and just sort of an understanding that other soldiers would have. You kind of ingratiate yourself a bit to these folks, and they kind of take some time, I would say, over the course of the next hour, as they're actually, you found one of the watchtowers here in Yalish, and just sort of talking with these gray tabard wearing watch. They just kind of chat with you a little bit about like this is what's called a buffet pole, which is like a spear, but with the end of it is the buckler shield. They kind of tell you a little bit more about, effectively, like they're like the city police. Beyond that, they don't have much in the way of like huge numbers, but what the watch person sort of like confirms and basically like stresses is that there's over 4,000 militia trustees. So folks from the noble families actually have to sign up to be in the militia. The speaker actually doesn't control the watch. They actually report to the council themselves. There was just a recent amount of a number of elections with new seats being filled. And they kind of tell you about how there are various watchtowers in the area, definitely the most at the very, very top of the city, just to kind of keep the walls safe, but kind of get like a pretty darn good like camaraderie with these people. I'm gonna give you a couple of names so that way in the future you can always kind of like look them back up again. I'll grab this really quick. So you're actually talking with a half elf named Winra. She's a female half elf. And then you were also speaking with a dwarf, and that was by Arden Kind Axe. These are just sort of just watch folks. They are the rankings kind of go up with Watchman, First Blade, Shield Star, and then Watch Captain. Or no, pardon me, Watch Commander. Yeah, I would say that you're going to have advantage on questions or information as it relates to the watch. You get a pretty decent amount of information. So if you want to go ahead and notate that on your character sheet or wherever you so choose.
Good information.
And how much money did you, I guess, are you asking him to either hold future earnings, or are you giving him some coin to grab these kits and such?
Well, I believe is in charge of my allowance, as it were. So I will keep him in charge of the ins and outs and the expenses, and have him put things on my tab should we run over.
Got it. Dungeon Master, please keep track of this for me. I got you.
I wouldn't dare.
No, of course not. No, it's good. I owe you. All right, got it. So, Pelly, kind of waking up the ship sail. You've got the day in front of you. Did you want to shop for anything, procure any stuff? And as you are speaking into the void. Yeah.
I am speaking into the void. Nobody can hear me. I feel like I'm not entirely sure. I want to kind of walk around and go, I don't know what I need to get. I don't really know much about this adventure at all. So, I've got some basic stuff already, and maybe if I could find I don't know. What would I need?
Okay, let's say you begin like wandering around the city and just sort of spending some time with the wet sort of cobblestone underfoot as it's raining down a bit. It's the amount of like folks sort of walking by, some friendly faces. You see some families sort of coming through, and what catches your attention down the street, though, just down from the ship's sail, you see a rope maker. This fine rope maker has different types of ropes, different types of like threadings and such. If you like, you can go ahead and grab something from there. It seems as though they also have like climbing gear, pythons, that sort of thing.
Okay, I've got some of these things already.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like I've already got pythons and rope.
Okay. But it's sort of like wandering around. It was definitely something of like, just of interest, because it's like, okay, like I kind of see what like this area is. You're noticing that this area especially is a little bit more on the poor side, or like industrial side. So I would say spending the day walking about, you're not really exactly sure about a number of things and about Yalish, but you are just kind of thinking in the back of your head to go back to Long Dagger Lane, the cellar of St. Dionysus, kind of what that might look like. And I would say that you kind of find yourself wandering in that direction, and you see Terry outside again with his barrel, and it's like, oh, it's good to see you.
Hi, Terry.
Are you here to work today, or did you bring the delivery to the unfurled map, right?
I did bring the delivery, yes.
Okay,
I got
good,
the delivery okay.
Great.
Yes, I mean, I can help out with something. I don't have all day, but if you need help with something, I can help.
Ah, sure. So I'm gonna say you can earn 1 gold today by just working and just
Okay.
kind of doing this job, helping out with the winery, pressing some olives, starting to make some oil. Yeah, so you kind of just spend the day working, and I would say like during it, Terry kind of gives you a bit more information about Yalich, kind of like some of the places to see and go, some of the places to avoid, and just kind of like generally asks kind of what you're doing in Yalich. And as far as like anything that he recommends is like, oh, if you're going to be going into anywhere, I'd always make sure you have a healing potion. They're really expensive, but you can probably find some pretty easily.
Well, that's a good idea. I don't have any of those.
You don't have any at all.
I don't think so. No, I don't think I have any healing potions.
I'm shocked.
I never
they're
thought about it.
Okay, well,
Where do I get one? And also, can I go on a break so that I can go get one?
oh no, we don't need to formally do that, but I mean, yeah, I can tell you what, go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
50.
Kind of just like looks at you and just goes, all right, I'll be right back, hang on. And a few minutes go by, he comes back with this vial, cork stop vial, this red viscous liquid, and he goes, here you go. It's one of my souvenirs. I decided to do something a little less dangerous, and I don't have any use. I hope it still works. I'm sure. I don't know why it wouldn't. It's magical and everything. So
This is for me.
Yeah. You can have it.
Oh, sure, that's so sweet.
Oh, you're welcome. You're new, and I feel like I would feel bad if you got, weren't able to come in and be okay. So, well, all right.
And then I give her a big hug.
Oh God. Thank you very much. Well, let's get the rest of these olives pressed. So
Okay.
spend the rest of the day kind of like doing that. And we'll say fast forward to the evening. You all actually kind of meet up with Mally. She kind of gave you directions about where to initially meet her in the lower city. Just sort of actually right around the Rung Shield, which is on what looks to be down Dolphin Street. And as you all kind of like gather up there, you kind of hear the waves crashing down below, and the street lamps are sort of lit up, and you don't see too many people sort of walking about, but you do notice that the dwarf is not there. Ron. So as you've all sort of gathered up, Mally, you would want to go ahead and take them just up down Dolphin. What's that going to be, to the northeast? And then you're going to hang a right. The street sort of parallel to Long Dagger Lane. Going to go through one of these little tunnels. Not where you entered initially, but definitely one that you know of well. So, and don't forget that you guys are on mute. So if you can unmute yourself.
And I would have also at some point tried to gather gear appropriate for climbing and so forth before we left. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and remove 10 gold for climbing gear.
Okay, great. Climbing gear.
So you've now all gathered up. What do you wish to do?
Alexei is very keen to. It's like you can see the excitement in him. Some action outside of where he came from the kingdom of Cormyr, where he was always, following orders and being a good soldier. So to be out on his own on a solo adventure with new friends, you see him kind of champing at the bit to get started on our little quest here
All right, so I need Mally to either direct people or kind of like
Okay.
because you're in charge of this, and you're just all standing outside in the rain in the dark.
Yeah, I would absolutely show them to the shipworks entrance on the lower city and take them around to where we were told to meet.
Okay, so you're just gonna, as you all are sort of standing here, just turn and walk down the street and just start leading them.
Yes, unless anyone else needed to do something. I assume it's like 9:45 bells now.
Okay, so do you all follow with her?
I will just kind of like sneak up behind her over her shoulder, probably not very quietly, and just be like, Mally, how do you propose we do it? Do we charge in there? Do we keep quiet?
Well, I mean, we are expected, I suppose, since they told us to be here at a certain place at a certain time. But I mean, perhaps it's best to wait just on the outside and see what's going on. I appreciate your caution.
You see Alexi kind of blush. She's like, "Oh, right, yes. The meeting first. The meeting first. I was confusing it for the adventure."
Yes, meeting first. Meeting leads to adventure.
Sorry to no, that's
Unless
incorrect.
we fuck this up and DM is like, no, you are wrong.
Yes, that's correct. So you were to, because Mally knows where the shipworks entrance is, meet there, which you've done, and then go inside and then look for this gang that's smuggling contraband inside, and then observe and wait to see if this trader shows themselves. You had way too much to drink, and I really need you to focus, Mally.
I'm so sorry.
A voice of God stops talking.
Sir, what was your name again? Sir Beckettson. I was a little confused. No, I think you're right. We are to go in and observe and see if there's any shenanigans going on. How best do you propose we do that? We are a rather unusual group of people.
And he looks at his chainmail. I'm a bit loud and clunky, but and he
Really
looks
quiet and
over
I'm really
at
small.
Also
Castell
very
and
quiet.
our new friend Pelly and says, "But well, she's tiny, and I'm assuming quiet and sneaky." And then
Very
I look
sneaky.
over at Castell and says, "And she can be even tinier." Is
And
that
I'm
helpful?
a local, so
I don't know. Being tiny sounds very expensive.
You know, I never thought to put it that way. I could be making a lot more money if I went around telling people that being tiny was expensive.
So I'll go in because most of the folks know me here, and then perhaps Pelly and you, squirrel, human, elf, whatever form you choose to take, come in behind me as I'm making a bit of a ruckus so no one notices ya.
Are you a squirrel right now, Castell?
I lost track of what she was.
No, because we had a long rest, and I
did have a long rest.
I shift out of it when I'm
Yeah.
sleeping. No, I'm not a squirrel.
Okay. Sorry, you're about to say something, Chad.
In strategizing with Mally, it's like, well, if sneak and stealth is what you want, perhaps I wait in the shadows until you discover anything interesting. Or I could be the muscle at your back. Whatever you think is best.
Well, I suppose if you come in with me and I'm just buying you an ale, people will think you're a new client or something.
Just a point of clarification. The Shipworks is not a bar. The Shipworks is a place where they make ships. So you're going into a tunnel, into a warehouse tunnel, where you were last time, a similar spot
Oh, the same
where
thing,
they
the
have
same thing.
cargo. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Alexei arches an eyebrow and says, "Are you sure you live here? Maybe you shouldn't have had some drinks before the
There's
job."
rum everywhere. I will find it. No, minus the me buying you a drink. You can come in and people will think perhaps I'm just here to conduct business, as I do that quite frequently here.
It is also in the evening and no one is supposed to be here.
Sounds like we should
So-
send in a scout.
All right.
Mally
let's
has
take a
rolled
let's take a
one
breath.
on
Let's take a breath.
all the checks.
All right. So I'll always give you the information up front. That way you know what's going on.
Yep.
So where you're at in the evening, you're sort of waiting outside. I'm just going to go ahead and push you guys out on through. It's cool. Episode 2. We got someone's 5 o'clock in the freaking morning. It's good. We're great. So as you guys push on through, I'd like you to go ahead and make a combined stealth check. Chad, don't forget, you have disadvantage.
Do I have to make a stealth check?
Oh, yeah.
12 for me.
24 for me.
Right. Nice. Rogues.
I wish to wild shape into a squirrel.
You've already made the check.
3.
What?
You've already made the check, so you're still human.
Fine. I don't need to be salty as well. I got a 10.
10, 5, you said, Alexi?
3 for Alexei.
3, got it. 12 and 24. Oh boy. Okay, so kind of maneuvering through these halls, it's kind of dimly lit, kind of being later at night, and there are some sconces, torches burning. So Mally is trying to kind of lead you all through, because you've been here a couple of times in this sort of similar sort of environment. And as you're just sort of moving through, you don't know these people. They're brand new, and you're not used to working with people you don't know. So you kind of have this fluster about you. You haven't felt this way in a long time. And it's challenging for you to kind of check in, especially with like people you don't necessarily care about. So for you, you're going a little fast, and she's quiet. The rest of you, as you kind of like move through, Pelly, this is a cave, and for you, it's just sort of like you're just thrust into this situation, and it kind of hits you in a moment. You're a long way from the forest, and it's just sort of been, you're getting this like slight feeling of regret. Alexi, kind of moving through, you see Mally just sort of moving ahead. Didn't really discuss a plan necessarily. She seemed kind of confused, so you're just you're gonna push through, because this is, as the lady will decree it. And Castell kind of moving through here, like, kind of feel like I want to be a squirrel, and you can wild shape sort of in there. And as you sort of like scuttle around and kind of like are looking through the area, you find that there's actually, give me a perception check.
That's a solid 11.
11. Okay, not terrible. But kind of looking through, you scout a little bit ahead, and you've lost track of Mally, as she's just silent, a 24 moving through. But you do kind of feel something in the stone, like an echo of like a percussive sound. You hear like a chopping almost. Like what seems to be, I don't know, like kind of below you. Kind of put your hands in the stone and continuing to move along in that direction. I'd like you to make another stealth check for me.
Yes, that's an 8.
Okay. So as you're just sort of like, you're really excited because you feel like you're onto something and you start chittering really, really loud. Mally, you kind of hear this chittering sort of behind you, and it's just sort of like, echoing down the hall. Pelly, I'd like you to make a perception check for me.
$17.
You've made your way through a decent amount into the tunnel. You passed a couple of boxes, and you kind of are going from blind spot to blind spot. But as you touch the wall where Squirrel Castell had sort of like ran by, you feel a slight breeze immediately as you run your hand across the stone.
Does the breeze feel like it's coming through the stone or against the stone?
Through. And as that sort of happens, you see Castell sort of slide down the side of the rock and just starts chittering and chirping and like jumping up and down. By this time, Alexi, you sort of reach them, and you kind of see this moment. She's kind of bathed a little bit in some of the light of the torch, but you see Pelly just holding her hand out against the stone.
What is it, little one?
There's something coming through here. There's like a breeze that's coming through the stone. And I want to put my face up closer to it. Can I feel a crack or anything?
Yeah, I want you to make. Let's go ahead and do an investigation check for me. So your intelligence. There you go.
16.
Nice. So, Mally, as you take a few extra beats to kind of come back because you were so far ahead of everybody else, you see Ellie just sort of running her hand along the smooth stone until she kind of like reaches like a little bit of a lip. And as you put your finger along the side of it, you feel a slight divot. The squirrel chirps louder. And Castell, you feel like almost like through your paws on the ground, like your chest is kind of like shaking with like chops. Can you make a nature check for me?
$18.
You feel like with your feet on the ground and just the stone. Is that your squirrel nature check, by the way? Or just the Castell nature check? No, it's the same. Never mind. Sorry. Well, Chip, brains. Sorry. You feel like the sense of like there's something wrong here. There's something bad happening. And kind of just like looking around the area is like, it's industrial, but I don't know, just something about it is just really off for you. So Mally returns. I'll leave you guys to that.
So I come back and I see Pelly with her little hand up against the wall and this little divot.
You don't see the divot. She's found it.
There's something here. Like I don't know. It's like the edge of something. There's like the breeze is coming. Maybe a door. I don't know. Can you?
And
do you know?
I'll come up and rub my hand over the wall where I see that she had her hand. And do I end up feeling this divot?
Yeah. I mean, she pointed it out, so easily enough,
great.
you kind of feel this sort of like separation.
So I'm going to try and either push and see if that does anything, or if there's a way to pull, or...
Do you have thieves' tools?
I do, and I'm very proficient in them.
Useful for a rogue.
Yes, I have proficiency in thieves' tools as well as just having them. So yes.
Go ahead and give me a check with your thieves' tools. So that's I believe it's dexterity, and then add your proficiency bonus.
Yes. So that is going to be 15 plus That is going to be a non-nat 20.
Okay, so as Mally sort of sets out this leather case and begins taking out a couple of like files and trying to find the right one, what are the rest of you doing?
Lexi is watching her intently, and he slowly reaches behind his back and pulls out a crowbar and says to Mally, "If that doesn't work, let's have this."
I like the way you think. Always have a plan B.
All right.
Is there an area where I could like slide through? Like there doesn't seem to be a door here, but it seems like there's an entranceway somewhere. Like is there like a crack I could like slide through all the way to the other side?
Break on through to the other side.
Yes.
A squirrel might be a little large. Are you wishing to keep your shape or switch shape?
I mean, as a squirrel, I'm gonna like survey things
Sure.
and like do one of these and figure out like where the air is coming from.
That's actually very appropriate. Yep.
And
Go ahead then.
then.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off, please.
And then like assess, like what kind of cracks we have here. Like you said, I kind of like slid down into the one. So that's why I was trying to figure out if the cracks were actually big enough where I could get through or if I need to figure something else out.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check then. All right. What did you get, Mally, for your thieves tool check?
Dirty 20.
Right. So, then let me know whenever you're ready there, Mylan.
I got a 13.
You do kind of find your way through the bottom. You kind of get most of the way in, but you can't quite fit the rest of your body. I would say while this is happening, Mally is kind of just, you're trying to like kind of get a good feel for the side. You're looking for any sort of like divot, any sort of like latch. And as you run a file down in and through, you hear a bit of a click. And then Stell, at the bottom, you see right in front of you this little stopper kind of go down, clearing a path. You can pull yourself through if you'd like.
Yes, I would like to.
Okay, I'd like you to make an athletics check for me.
Super athletic squirrel that I am. Dirty 20.
Pulling through, just like the scene from Terminator 1 where he's pulling himself in. Just like this narrow opening. You kind of just sort of barely peek your head out as the rest of you kind of like hear this click and then see the door begin to shift open. And as the door shifts a bit, it kind of catches, and you can just see Castell as a squirrel there, and she kind of gets up and gives it a little push, and it continues to open. You're not sure if it's opening on its own or if she's actually pushing it, but either way, it's impressive nonetheless as it opens up, and you see a bit of torchlight, and you hear this scurrying of other rodents in the room, a dripping of water, and then just sort of a chopping. You hear wood being split. So, as this door opens, light kind of pours into the room. What would you all like to do?
I want to go in.
I'm
Alright.
gonna use the
I wanna
door
see
for
what's
cover.
happening. But I
Okay,
want to do
so-
it stealthy like. I don't want to just like run in there, but I definitely am like, what's happening?
Okay. So Pelly begins to move forward. Alexi, go ahead.
I nominate Mally. She knows this area well. She seems to get around nice and quietly. Maybe she has a peek ahead and tells us what she sees. I'm always one for charging right in, but I don't know that would go over well with this group.
The
Well,
water dripping in the background.
Since Pelly is so eager and she is rather tiny, perhaps we both go in. I'll go to the left, Pelly, you go to the right, and we'll
Okay.
see what we can see.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. I'd like you both to make stealth checks. Either individually or one of you with advantage. Either way, it's fine.
You might want to do it with you with
usually,
advantage.
Already rolled. Already rolled. You gotta let me know before you roll.
That's all right. I got a 7.
I get a 21.
Okay. So kind of moving through, you let Pelly go first. And quietly, it's kind of like following behind her. It's not a huge amount of room between where you were and where this is. But as you're just sort of like walking through, you kind of like look over Pelly's head and you're kind of seeing a little bit of light. And then Pelly, actually, you trip over a stone that was dislodged as the door was opening. So many rolls, but I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
And can I also try and reach out and grab her as she's falling?
I would say you could just make a straight roll, but I'll lower the DC a little bit. So it's going to break your stealth though.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I have an 11.
Okay. You kind of catch yourself, and what you end up doing is you just take the brunt of it on your elbow and
Ow.
forearm. I'd like you to take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you just kind of like hit the ground, kind of like panting a little bit, but trying to remember to stay quiet. Mally rushes up and as quietly as she can, kind of like just holds you, like not to scream, not to say anything. And Mally, as you kind of look over, Squirrel Castell is behind, and just see the squirrel just go like this as you kind of look over, and you see a woman with like long black hair, broken shield. You see a Duragar, and you see a yellow tiefling, all chopping up these boxes inside. And one of them, the Duragar, just stops chopping and kind of turns his head up to look towards the upper landing of where you all are. I'd like the both of you, Pelly and Mally, to make another stealth check, but with disadvantage. Either one person can do it at disadvantage, or you both roll with disadvantage. Up to you.
Up to you. I do actually have really high stealth.
I bet you do. Okay, I'll give you advantage. I'll give you Mally has faith in her new little friend who is very tiny and looks like she can go many places. So she will help give her advantage.
So I am rolling what, Jacob? Sorry, stealth?
No, disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Yeah.
Stealth.
So you said we were both, the
But
options
if I'm
were.
giving her advantage, then is it just a straight?
You're not giving her advantage.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, okay.
I'm letting you like pick whoever has the better stat.
I think we both are about the same, probably.
All right, go ahead and roll stealth then.
Man, I have just got the worst rolls. We have an 11.
That's not horrible. It's not horrible.
Not when you know what my modifier is.
All right, so an 11 as you just kind of go, hold your breath, and Duragar just goes, "Hey, stop." And he kind of directing that away from you all, and then Alexi, you kind of hear from the inside as Squirrel's like, "I told you." You hear inside, "You're barking up the wrong tree. This is Rust's crew, and you've just made the biggest mistake of your life." And with that, we'll go ahead and end the episode.
Cliffhanger! No!
All right. We got there. Got through it. Chad, my goodness.
Mally had a few too
Top-
much to drink. It's fine. It's fine.
Some squirrel action, some squirrel gambling. Can't say that I ever thought that would happen, but I love it.
Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling. I didn't have a hat to turn around. I feel
No.
like if you have the hat and you turn it around and it's the 80s,
Yeah,
that's how you get the extra arm wrestling power.
you would have won if you would have done that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not going to try to tell you how to win the game, but that's how you would have won the game.
We've all seen him.
If we were playing in person, we would have done the Predator sort of thing, the shake. So
You know it. I'll be Carl Weathers.
I mean, jealous. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in, watching us tonight, play, kind of get this started in the Shipworks and seeing what's going on with this job. And well, hopefully find out next week on our episode 3. So again, thank you all so much for joining us, and happy Monday.
Thank you.